All right, what's going on, guys? This is my final. Well, I'm not gonna say it is my final right now. This should be my final stat predictions for the 2025 season. So far, I've done QBs, I've done wide receivers, and I've done running backs. Now I'm on to the tight ends, and with tight ends, looks like I have about 45, and I'm doing yards and touchdowns. So let's get moving on. Let's get right on to this. Starting with the Bills, we got Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. Believe it or not, on the depth chart right now, Dawson Knox is above Dalton Kincaid, which I was a little surprised about because I think the last two seasons since Dalton Kincaid's been drafted, he has been the number one on the depth chart. But Dawson Knox, he's always been very good. He was supposed to be like a top tier tight end at one point, so maybe this could be that year. I'm not gonna say so. I have him going for 650, so not too terrible, decently enough. And in Dalton Kincaid, I'm going to have him at 425. Not terrible, especially for like splitting between two tight ends, 600 guy and a 400 guy. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to say if either one of them are going to be a very good number one tight end at any point. TJ Hawkinson, one of the best tight ends in the league. He will have JJ McCarthy throwing the ball his way. I think he is. Like I said, I think JJ McCarthy is going to be under 4,000 yards this year. So I can see TJ Hawkinson's numbers taking a slight hit, but I still see him being definitely in like top 5 to top 6. Well, I can definitely see him being from top 5 to top 10 in yardage. So I'm going to have TJ Hawkinson going for 875. Sam Laporta, this is his third year. He's been one of the best tight ends since he's entered the league. Let's take a look at his numbers. Yeah, 900 yards his first year, 750 his second year. I think this year he's gonna break 1,000. I have him at 1,025. David Njoku. Dude, that's the thing. If David Njoku was on a different team, or if he was just able to be healthy, he could literally have been like Travis Kelce or Gronk. He is the most athletic tight end in the league, I feel like. And now he has one of the most athletic tight ends in the league right behind him, Harold Fannin. I think these guys are going to be an awesome duo. David Njoku, I don't think he's going to play a full season because he never does. So I think because of that, along with the quarterback group they have, I'm going to have him at 650 yards. And Harold Fannin, I'll have him at 350. Now we got the Packers. It's crazy. These guys were both drafted in the same year. I think Tucker Kraft was a third rounder and Luke Musgrave was a second rounder. And Luke Musgrave has just been completely outshouted and Luke Musgrave has been completely outnumbered by Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has outperformed in every single way. And every single year he's been able to stay on the field, unlike Luke Musgrave. And this year I have him outperforming him again. Tucker Kraft, I'm going to give 525. Not elite numbers. And then Luke Musgrave, I'm going to give like 100. 125. Yeah. Freiermuth, I think he's going to bounce back. He's going to be back to rookie Freiermuth with 725. Or 775. Dalton Schultz, I feel like he's putting up the same numbers every single year. And that is going to be 650 yards. If you don't believe me, let's take a look. Yeah, see, over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 650, I feel like that's a very solid average. Kyle Pitts, dude, he's one of the hardest people to figure out. I still think he's kind of like a David Njoku. He definitely has potential to be the best tight end in the league, but I don't know, he just doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. But he's in a contract year. He's still young, man. He's 24. He doesn't turn 25 until like October. So I'll give him 750. Ty Tremble, believe it or not, the Panthers actually re-signed this guy to like a 2 or 3 year deal. So they paid him to be the starting tight end. They also drafted Jadavion Sanders, but Tommy Tremble for this year, I have him being the main starter. I'm going to give him 650, and then Jadavion Sanders, I'll give him 250. Another fun tight end group, the Saints. We got Juwan Taylor and Taysom Hill. So, I mean, Taysom Hill is such a gadget player. We really haven't seen anybody used like him in the league in years. But since he's going to be all over the place, he probably could play quarterback for some games. I'm only going to have him at 200 receiving yards. But he's probably going to have some very, very, very good fantasy games. And then Juwan Taylor, I think he's going to be pretty solid. I'll give him 800. I know that sounds like a lot, but I can see it. I can see him doing pretty solid. Okonkwo, very underrated, very, just not talked about at all. I feel like he's going to be Cam Ward's security blanket. So I'm going to give him 700 yards. Cade Otton. I mean, dude, with Baker Mayfield, he has 4 very good weapons. He has Mbuka, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Cade Otton literally is going to have the number 3 or number 4 worst guy on defense playing against him. So I can see Kadon being very productive this year. I'm going to give him, I think he could definitely enter Sam Laporta category. I'm going to give him 1,000 yards. This could be his first Pro Bowl year. All Pro year, maybe. All right, Travis Kelce, easy Hall of Famer. I think he's going to bounce back a little bit. Is he going to be 1,000 yards, Travis Kelce? No, but I think 900 yards sits just about right. Brock Bowers, easily the best tight end of last season, and I can see him bouncing back and being another 1,000-yard receiver, 1,075 yards. Noah Fant, he's been very underwhelming for a first-round guy, but I think this year he can figure it out, especially when it's just JSN, and I don't even remember who the other receivers are on right now. Cooper Coffey's probably going to get hurt. And then what? MVS? So, dude, Noah Fant can easily get the number 2 targets in Seattle. And because of that, I'm going to give him 925 yards. George Kittle, another top 3, 2, probably the best tight end in the league. I'm going to give him 1,100 yards. There's really nothing else to say. He's a fucking dog. Tyler Higbee. Honestly, just because of how well I have Puka doing and Devontae Adams, there just really isn't enough targets to go around. So Tyler Higbee's going to have a pretty down year. Plus, I think he has a rookie right behind him, so he could probably lose snaps. I'm going to have Tyler Higbee at 475. Trey McBride, another top-tier tight end, 1275. I think last season he only had 1 or 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Yeah, he only had 2 touchdowns last year, so let's hope he can get an end zone a little bit more this season. Evan Ingram, now on the Broncos. Dude, I think he can make the Broncos passing offense so good. So good. Especially since it's Cortland Sutton and then Devon Vele and Marvin Mims. He's gonna get a lot of targets. I'm gonna have him at 925. And then Adam Troutman, he's just the only reason why I'm rating him is because he was just already on this list, but 275. Theo Johnson. That's the thing, another reason. I really just do Theo Johnson, but this list has 3 Giants tight ends. But Theo Johnson, I think, is gonna get the main snaps. I'm gonna have him at 500. Daniel Bellinger, give him 150. And then Delpit, 100. Delpit might get released by the end of the year. Now, this is probably the best tight end duo in the league. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. It sucks because I want to give Isaiah Likely 500, 600, 700 yards, but because I think Mark Andrews could play a whole year, and that's kind of how I plan on. That's kind of how I've been rating all these guys. I can only really give Isaiah Likely 375 yards. Well, I'll give him 400. He belongs in this group at least. He was a backup. And then Mark Andrews, 725. He might miss a couple games, but he's still definitely productive enough. Now, on to probably the worst tight end group. in the league. I think this is the Chargers. Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin. Now, everyone expected them to get Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren, but they both went pretty early. So, I had them basically both splitting yards. 300 each. I think they're going to alternate between who's starting each game, something like that. Another very good duo. Kind of like Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, but just less name recognition, I'd say. But in a Mike Vrabel offense, I think they could be very efficient. So, Hunter Henry, I'm going to give him 550. And I'll leave Austin Hooper with 400. Oh, okay, 550's right here. Zach Ertz. For an old man, I think he's 32, 33. I still think he's a very solid tight end. I really think he's better than Dallas Goedert, the former Eagle. So Zach Ertz, I have him going for 775. Now we got Chicago Bears, Cole Kmet and Colson Loveland. I think they're kind of going to be splitting yards this year. I think Kmet's going to start off as the starter. Maybe around week 8 to week 12, Colson Loveland will take the main snaps. So that'll leave Cole Kmet for the year around 450. And then Colson Loveland will be right behind him at 400. Now we got the Bengals tight end group. Really just Mike Gesicki. I think with how Joe Burrow's playing, Mike Gesicki last year only had 4 or 5 starts. I think he's going to start basically every game. So I can see Gesicki having a very, very solid year. Even technically a breakout year. I don't know if a breakout year could happen in year 9 or 10, but I have him going for 900 yards. Dallas Goedert. Dude, he can easily be a 1,000-yard guy. Dallas Goedert. He gets hurt a lot, man. He does not play enough. I literally like Zach Ertz better than Dallas Goedert right now. And Zach Ertz is 5-6 years older. But, I mean, if Zach Ertz can play a whole season, I can see him getting 700 yards. So, 700 yards. Jake Ferguson. Now, see, he was very disappointing last year. 2023, he made a Pro Bowl. And then he followed up 2024 with 500 yards in 14 games. He did lose Dak Prescott for the year. So, that didn't help him too much. I think another full year with Dak, him coming back from injury, I think Jake Ferguson can have a big bounce back year. Also, he's engaged, so I think he's going to try to get a big contract for him and his fiance. So I have him going for 875 yards. Now the Colts tight ends, Tyler Warren and Mo Alley Cox. Tyler Warren is probably the most pro-ready tight end in the draft, and I think I have him going for the most out of rookie tight ends. I have him at 650. I feel like it's very fair. And then Mo Alley Cox, I think he's going to get in the mix a little bit too. So, and then Mo Alley Cox, he'll get in the mix a little bit, only 100 yards, just because the Colts save Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Are they going to be able to pass the ball? Probably not. Jags, Brenton Strange. That's the thing, man. Is Trevor Lawrence going to use him a lot? I don't know. Is Trevor Lawrence even going to be able to throw the ball to him? Is Trevor Lawrence even good? That's the thing. I think Brenton Strange is more just, he can only be as good as the Jaguars make him. So, I can really only give him 650. Honestly, I can see him being way worse, but I think his max potential is going to be 650. All right, now on to the Jets. Mason Taylor. Okay, so I have him being the most productive tight end this year with 800 yards. He's easily going to be the starting tight end for the Jets. He really doesn't have much competition. And, Justin Fields, I feel like, is going to use him a lot. I could see Tyler Warren being utilized a good amount, but also Colson Loveland. Where's Colson Loveland? But he has Cole Kmet above him. So, Mason Taylor really has no competition. And he has a competent passing quarterback in Justin Fields. All right, these guys are all duplicates. So, last guy, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, I actually have him. I was not expecting this. This mostly happened out of math, because I was going through my QB passing yards and my receiver passing yards. So I'm like, I got to make it kind of realistic compared to everything, Like if I have a QB with 3,500 passing yards and two 3,000 and two 1,000 and three 1,000 yard receivers, I can't give the tight end like a 700, 800 yard year. No, that just won't make sense. So in that case, Jonnu Smith calculated to like 1,300 yards. And that's me being generous due to the calculations. So Jonnu Smith is going to be my number one tight end just because, fuck it, why not? He had the best year of his career last year. Why not do it again? 1,300 yards. Now, I'm going to kind of rapid fire this. Now we're going on to the touchdowns. Dawson Knox, I'm giving 5. Dalton Kincaid, I'll give 3. Hawkinson, I'll give 6. I know that's a little low for him, but remember, he's got basically a rookie QB. Laporte, I have him getting up there with 8. And Njoku 5, mostly due to injury. And then Harold Fannin, I think he's going to get 2 in limited snaps. Tucker Kraft, I think he's going to be probably the main red zone target for the Packers. I'm going to have him with 8. That'll leave Luke Musgrave with 1. Freiermuth, he's going to be having a lot of yards, but just with the limited quarterback play, I think they're going to rely on running back for the red zone. So I only have Freiermuth with 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, I feel like once again he just does the same thing every year, which is 4 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has never really been a big red zone guy, so I can't really have him going for too much. So I'm gonna have him go for 5. That is going to be a career high for Kyle Pitts. Maybe he can do something amazing this year, but until he does it, can't really give him 1-5. Tommy Tremble, 5. First year going to be getting starting snaps. I think him and Bryce Young could be something. I think him and Bryce Young could be I think him and Bryce Young could be a good combo. But yeah, until that happens, it happens. I'll give him 5. Jadavion Sanders, I'll give him 3. Which is pretty good in limited snaps as a backup. Evan Ingram, I'm going to give 5. I think he's going to use more, because they have Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is probably going to be their biggest red zone threat. And I'll leave Adam Troutman with 1. Juwan Taylor, I'll give him 6. And then now I'll leave Taysom Hill with only 1. But Taysom Hill could realistically get like 8 total touchdowns this year, just from however the fuck they decide to use him. Jonnu Smith, like I said, he 1,300 yards, and I'm going to have him with 8 touchdowns. He's going to be another top tier tight end this year. Watch it. Chig, I'll give him 7. Sounds about right. Cade Otton, I'm going to give him 9. I kind of want to give him 10, but I'll give him 9 for now. Travis Kelce, I'm going to give him 6. Just getting older, and yeah, why not? Brock Bowers. Dude, I think Brock Bowers is the only one I have over 10 touchdowns. I might need to change that, but I'm going to give him 12. It's him, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Geno Smith is the quarterback. Geno Smith is smart enough to use Brock Bowers enough for that. Noah Fant, I think 6 touchdowns sounds good for him. George Kittle, I also have him going for 6 as well. Tyler Higbee, got him with 2. Trey McBride, he's never really been a big red zone threat. And I don't know if that's a Kyler Murray issue. I don't know if that's a him issue, but he's also a guy I really can't give 10 touchdowns yet, so I'm going to give him 6 as well. Theo Johnson, I actually have him being pretty productive. I have him with 7. What the fuck? Okay, Theo Johnson with 7, and that leaves Daniel Bellinger with 1, and Grant Delpit with 0. Isaiah Likely, I have him with 3 in the backup role with limited snaps, and I'll leave Mark Andrews with 7. 7 combined touchdowns between these two. I think that's very good. Now we got Will D and Tyler Conklin. Will Dissly, I'm going to give 3, and then Tyler Conklin as the backup, I'll give him 4. Another duo this is an underrated duo. These two are good. Believe it or not, Hunter Henry was drafted above Austin Hooper in the same draft, right? And Austin Hooper has 2 Pro Bowls over, and Hunter Henry has nothing. And Hunter Henry is the starter over him. So I'm going to give Hunter Henry 6 touchdowns, and I'll leave Austin Hooper with a very respectable 4 in the backup role. Zach Ertz, I think 6. I have so many guys with 6, but I think that's just a perfect magic number for NFL tight ends. Now, Cole and Colston Loveland, I have both of them at 3. They're both, Cole Kmet's going to be the starter for the first half. Colston Loveland will be the starter for the second half. Mike Gesicki, I'm going to give him 7. Dallas Goedert, that's going to leave him with 4. He's never really been a big touchdown machine. Tyler Warren, I'll leave him with 4. And I'll give Mo Alley Cox 0. Mason Taylor, 7. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Dude, actually, no. I'm kind of liking this list. I'm liking this list. Only one guy in the 10 plus. Brenton Strange. I only have him with 1. Holy shit. I think he's the only number 1 starting tight end I have with under 2 touchdowns. Because all these guys are backups except for Brenton Strange. I have him being the main guy. And that leaves the best for last, Jake Ferguson. I'm going to give him 7. I think that's fair enough for him. All right, guys, this is my tight end tier list. We have Brock Bowers as the number 1 guy with touchdowns. And when it comes to yardage, we have Jonnu Smith, Brock Bowers as well, George Kittle, Trey McBride, Cade Otton, and Sam Laporta. I like this list. I think this list is fairly accurate. And probably, now this is the end of my predictions list. And for now, I might do some other predictions, maybe. But I'm probably going to do a reaction or review of these over the end of the year. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And see ya in the next one with whatever I plan on doing. Goodbye.